Okay, so first up, guys, let's go ahead and talk about as a Seattle person. I thought get Seattle a little bit started first because I planned it a little bit today. Hope it's very very okay with you guys. Let's go ahead and talk about you guys about Mike Macdonald. Hope I did say it. Macdonald White. Hope I did. If I did, sorry, my mistake. So, Mike, obviously the new head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. What is my thoughts about Mike Macdonald? Wait, I'm really hoping I'm said it away because obviously I'm a guy that has tough grammar and tough languaging, and I can't understand it right, and I have to always use a translator just to know that it's who I am. So, okay, so obviously, guys, for Mike Macdonald to obviously become the next head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, the Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator. I believe he was a defensive coordinator in Michigan. And obviously, I'm wearing Michigan State. It's not about I hate Mike Macdonald. I just become a Spartan fan because I loved them since almost a teenager almost. It was in me, but just really didn't get too much into Spartans. But once I got much older and much bigger into Spartans, and obviously I did become a Spartan person for life basically. And obviously, guys, I have like the Huskies too because what they did get the national championship game. I did. Obviously went for a little bit for the Huskies. I hope Seattle was gonna win a national championship because I've been cool for my part of my family. I have no idea if I ever had anybody in my family that ever went to the Wolverines University, like Michigan University, like Wolverines. I have no idea. I don't think so, but maybe I'll ask my whole family a question if I could. But maybe I think there's a big chance, but doesn't matter. Okay. So guys, for Mike Macdonald to become the next head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, this is probably the best hiring from the NFL's offseason. And I always think of that. When there's new people getting a job out of the regular season, if you don't go to the playoffs or anything else, obviously those guys get into the big worlds and talk. But obviously for Mike Macdonald, there were some teams out there that did step away and not talk about anything importantly about where they should get their next head coach right away before the postseason or anything else. Now, obviously there was a rule that you can't get your head coach after the divisional round, but somehow I believe the Patriots got their man, oh my God, Jared Mayo, if I said it right, Jared Mayo. He was the new head coach for the New England Patriots. Obviously, Bill Belichick parted way after 24 years. Man, obviously, Bill Belichick had a great time, and obviously, it was a surprise for me, guys, to understand that Bill Belichick is not going to be a head coach in the first time in 24 to 25 years. That's crazy. I never imagined it was ever going to happen, but that is a surprise. So to not see that, even Mike Vrabel, holy moly, how did Mike Vrabel not get a job? I'm stunned about that as well. But yeah, Mike Vrabel, man, that man should have got a job by now. I think he could have got the Commander's job, or he could have got someone else by now. Which obviously, next question, guys, is obviously going to be about. We're going to talk about Eric Bieniemy and the Commanders next. That's on my notes a little bit. I have a little piece of paper, like a sticky note, like down there, guys. So I'm looking at it too. So, but obviously, guys, for Mike Macdonald to become the next head coach, I'm hoping he gets for more than 5 years or so, because if he is somehow a coach that wasn't good in maybe 2 or 3 years, then I'll be very convinced and nervous. But I don't think we're going to go down that path, and I don't think Seattle is ever going down that path with Mike Macdonald. I think he's going to build a great new system for the Seattle Seahawks and probably become the next Pete Carroll. Now, he's obviously the youngest head coach in the National Football League, and he obviously beats Mayo by a few days or so, like a few months or days than him, because Mayo was about to be the youngest head coach in the NFL, but he held it for almost a few weeks until he got the job, and that is Mike. So when I think about him, guys, I'm looking forward that he can rebuild the offense, but mostly help our defense, because the defense side, ladies and gentlemen, has been very, very rough, even with Russell Wilson, because when he was in the system, he's been like always pressured, just like Bryce Young this season and the Carolina Panthers. Now, I am nervous for Russell Wilson if he doesn't get the job or his future with the Broncos or he gets released. Now, we're gonna hopefully get a lot of Bronco talk because that is one of my biggest off-season feelings we have to really talk about because probably one of the worst trades in the National Football League is on the line if it happens, if Denver is super not interested with Russell Wilson as their next quarterback in probably year 3 for the Denver Broncos organization. So I don't know what's going to happen after that. But for Mike Macdonald, I'm really hoping he can rebuild this defense and hopefully maybe build some talent out of it. Now let's just say, guys, the thing I feel, if you want to rebuild the defense for the Seattle Seahawks' future, the two guys I'm on that in my head, I'm going to have to hate we do this, but just imagine if Geno Smith gets traded, we're going to have at least $22 million of salary cap return to Seattle, and we can build more talent to the Seattle Seahawks. Now, that could be a big surprise. He's an old quarterback. 100%. And he's got a few more years left in him. Where could he end his career? Could he end as a Seattle Seahawk? But in my time, I don't think he's going to be a Ring of Honor or a Pro Football Hall of Famer. I don't think he's going to go down that path because he's been a bench quarterback for a very, very long time. But he's obviously deserved to become the comeback player of the year, and he surprised the entire world. The sport world never cared about Geno Smith becoming that quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, or it could have been Drew Lock. Didn't matter. They didn't even damn care about the two quarterbacks of the Seahawks, Drew and Geno Smith. Nobody even didn't care about that. I hope Mike can rebuild this team and get some progress back with that. Now, I'm just hoping because if he can't fix Geno Smith and Drew Lock, they are gonna go down a pretty deep path and a dark path, and they're gonna have to rebuild pretty well with another system, and then it takes more time for them to figure this out, and it takes time. I know that it's not fair for everybody, but it is not easy for everybody to get through the National Football League. The NFL is obviously a very, very challenging sport, and the quarterbacking is the most powerful position in the National Football League because if you love that position of your life in football and you always dream to become a quarterback, then good luck. It is a very, very challenging position. If there's other positions that is much confident for you, then you have a bigger chance to be on that team and a bigger chance to play more football, but you have to always play the catching of it. Now, that's how it works in the National Football League. So, I'm really hoping that. Now, I do actually want to go back obviously to Geno Smith, and obviously my thoughts about imagine if he does get traded. Now, there is specific places that I think he should land into, and I think the number one place I felt he could work with is probably I don't know what it is, guys, but I've always had a feel for the Washington Commanders. Now, here's this, guys. I'm not saying because of Eric Bieniemy or anything else. It's not about that, guys. I feel Washington will be an interesting place for me because I think, now, let's just say, guys, let's pretend, guys, it's only if you do not like to get Caleb Williamson. Now, I think they're going to still be on Caleb Williamson 100%, guys. But let's just say this, guys. If the Washington Commanders obviously get Caleb Williamson, and let's pretend, let's say Caleb needs to learn the NFL. Let's say he needs a few weeks of the season not playing right now, and he can't be. Like Bryce Young, obviously, he got right to work here, and he obviously got onto the Carolina Panthers starting lineup in week 1, and then there is a collapse for the Carolina Panthers. Frank White, I believe he went 1-11, I think, or 1-10 around it. That's when because obviously he had a win of his career, and then the interim head coach obviously had another win for the Carolina Panthers, and it still wasn't enough for Carolina to get in. Now, if Carolina Panthers somehow got at least 4 wins, I think they would have maybe had a good chance to get away from the first overall pick, and obviously fetch Chicago and up in something like that. Because I was playing for Carolina to hopefully get away from that first overall pick, and so far that was the worst season they've ever, and probably the worst season ever for the Carolina Panthers. But obviously, obviously, guys, like I said, for Caleb Williamson, Drake May, and Jared Daniels, I think I said that right. That quarterback obviously is not something I never would have heard of until mostly now, a few weeks ago mostly. Michael Penix Jr., I don't think he's really going to be a first round pick. The world's really not into Michael Penix Jr. or JJ McCaffrey, who is the national quarterback champion of Michigan, of the Wolverines. Now, I'm really hoping, Mel Kiper, you're such a moron. You're such a moron. Now, Mel Kiper was obviously going for J.J. McCarthy to go to Seattle. No. I don't want to say J.J. McCarthy. Do you want to know what he did? Yes. Seattle, you know the question. He stole you a national championship. Yes, he did. If he does get traded or actually drafted to Seattle, let's all boo at J.J. McCarthy and never love him. Never love him. Doesn't matter if he's one of the best new quarterbacks in the National Football League. No, he's never ever going to be a Seattle Seahawks. If he stole a title from us, we never give you love. We did that to Russell Wilson. We booed at him because he left us. He betrayed us. He wanted a new life. He wanted to be with his wife, Ciara, and his kids. I'm not saying I hate Russell Wilson, but he was the man that inspired me to get into the game of football, basically. But, boys and gentlemen, guys, I'm going to tell you guys that there is a lot of talk about Seattle's future with a new quarterback. And you want to know what it is, guys? I'm really hoping Michael Penix Jr. gets to come back to Seattle. Now, I understand he did not go to play the Senior Bowl. I did get to see the Senior Bowl. I was watching the Senior Bowl for a little bit. I did watch Bo Nix, and I thought he did an okay job. But then after that, I just I'm not going to go down that path a little bit and not be too interested of the Senior Bowl. And I don't think the Senior Bowl is really too necessary for me. I'm okay with the Senior Bowl because obviously it's people that has big expectations to get to the NFL draft this season. Now, I'm 100% crossing my fingers. I am very, very planning to get to the Detroit draft. Now, obviously, guys, from Michigan. I am from Michigan, and I'm hoping I get to go to the draft, and I'm going to hopefully see the future of the NFL. And I think it'll be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I don't know how many Detroit drafts can we get, but this is an amazing opportunity for Michigan to earn. And the Lions had a great season, get to the NFC Championship game, and lose San Francisco. But it doesn't matter if you lose to the Niners. That was very, very okay with me. It was 50-50 what was going to happen. If we won, my God, I would have maybe been emotional. My dad would have been emotional, and the world would have been emotional for Michigan. It would have been an amazing moment, and we've been very, very celebrating for the past few days until now, and just be super excited to the day. It's coming closer and closer, but not going down that path. It's obviously heartbreaking, but hoping next year it'll be a stronger year for us. But here's the thing, guys. For Seattle's future, I'm hoping Mike Macdonald, I hope he makes a great future for the Seattle Seahawks. I really hope he does. We know what the NFL is going to be with a new quarterback. But for the Seattle Seahawks, Mike Macdonald is going to have a very, very hard future for that. Now, part two. I'm going very, very part two. I know there's a very, very long talk about Geno Smith and then other quarterbacks that could take over Geno Smith and what I think about the future for the NFL. I totally understand that. That was a big talk. So, next up, Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams, since his injury when Russell Wilson returned to the Seattle Seahawks, as a Denver Bronco, man, he had a full season out. And obviously, it would have been one of the toughest trades I think I've ever seen in my life. I was very excited for Jamal Adams to come to Seattle. And it was a very, very rough thing for me. I never imagined what we were going to go through after that. And it was a very, very rough time for me. I never understand what happened and why is he really not there. I don't understand. I respect Jamal Adams. I respect everything about Jamal Adams. But there's always been a heart in me. I don't think he's going to go down that path anymore. Mike Macdonald, he is going to go very, very eye to eye on Jamal Adams. He might be a trade block if they get onto Jamal Adams. If he gets another injury or so, and he gets a shoulder injury or some other serious injury, Seattle is going to have a massive talk about this. I really hope they do. I'm not saying I hate Jamal Adams, but Jamal has been having a tough few years and a tough past few months till now, just having a rough time with that with his injuries. He's got to kick his butt and keep going and keep believing in himself. You can't just sit. But That's the human world. The human world has injuries. The NFL is getting injuries all the time. Jamal Adams has been one of the worst people in the NFL to take the injury. And we have to take that. We have to understand Seattle has been in a good start on the defense. He's been one of the strongest safeties that the NFL has ever seen. Like almost Sauce Gardner, almost he's the same thing. He looks just like Jamal Adams, but a skinnier guy, and he's a little faster, and he's a better safety for the New York Jets, and he's there with Aaron Rodgers and so much more. Now, Mike Macdonald really is going to be very, like I said, the word is eye to eye on Jamal. He is going to have a very challenging new season because he doesn't have Pete Carroll. He understands he is a defensive coordinator just like he's learning from Jamal Adams, and he's trying to help Jamal Adams become a better player. But here's this. Mike Macdonald, he's gone to the conference championship game one time, and he has known how to build the Baltimore defense. They were super powerful. Is Jamal going to be powerful this season, or is going to be pretty mid-powerful or unpowerful? He's, like I said, eye to eye. He's going to be focusing on Jamal Adams. He has to understand what he's got to do with Jamal Adams. And he is going to be a very high prospect. If he doesn't play good, let's say, I'll just pretend. Let's pretend Seattle Seahawks go 3-3. And Julian Love, I think I said it right, obviously the safety for the Giants. I think he took a contract. I think it was a free agency contract he signed with the Seattle Seahawks. But if he's better than Jamal Adams, Jamal is on the clock. He's on the clock to be on the trade deadline in week 8. And somewhere between Halloween that he could get traded. So, if Love is better than Adams, Love may have replaced Adams, and I understand that. But if Adam and Love working together, then Seattle will be very okay with it. They'll keep it where it is. They'll both still believe in Jamal Adams, and they'll let Love have somebody that he can work with, and they can both be on the same field together and have time to stay off the field, get rest, have a little water, and then come back out and then do all that and go swap, switch, and do all of that. So that's what he's going to be doing, guys. So for Jamal Adams obviously has got a hard future ahead of him. I totally understand that. He's got a hard future ahead of him, and I wish for the best of the best because Mike Macdonald is going to be very eye to eye on Jamal Adams. So for Mike Macdonald, I wish for him to become the next best head coach and give Seattle their second Super Bowl championship. I hope he does. Second title. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win 59 or 60, 61 or 62. I'm looking for a limit between before we hit Super Bowl 65. That's my limit. Because if this Seahawks team can be very good and get before Super Bowl 65, that is my limit. That will be my limit. I hope it is. Hope you all good with that, Seattle, because I hope it is. Because if we get past Super Bowl 68 and it goes Super Bowl 69, it will have been 20 years or more since Seattle has never won a championship. Since that, you know what I'm talking about. 49, I'm not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that because I hate talking about it. I'm not going to talk about that ever on, hopefully never on my show. If I do, try to find a clip of that moment right here and then just do that. So let's just move on with that.